This is an induction presentation for the Surrey Hills Mill. The Surrey Hills Mill, located near Hampshire in northwest Tasmania, is operated by Foraco Proprietary Limited. Foraco manages an integrated business for the production of various wood-based products, grown from their own plantation estates, which are predominantly located across the north of Tasmania. Foraco engage specialist contractors to harvest and then transport logs to their mills, where the logs are processed for export as chips. In doing so, the transport contractors form one of the links between Foraco's two main operational divisions of forestry and processing. All transit arrangements between the forest coupe and the mill site and the Burnie port are made to standards specified by Foraco's corporate management under contractual arrangements, where among other matters the contractor principals are charged with the health, safety and environmental management aspects of the various work sites. The log delivery process and chip transport process, while within the mill site property boundary, is managed by Foraco's processing division. And as you would realise, any person who enters a managed work site is required to operate under the terms and conditions specified by that work site's manager. This induction will provide information that you as a heavy vehicle driver, either bringing wood in log form to the mill or carting processed wood materials from the mill, will need to know, understand and comply with regarding Foraco's safety, health and environmental requirements for the Surrey Hills Mill. So let's get on with it. Foraco have a suite of policy documents that you must be aware of. The policies provide high-level direction as to how Foraco manage environmental matters and occupational health and safety, including drugs and alcohol, in the workplace. Copies of these policies will be provided to you as part of a package to support this induction process. While within the mill site and outside your vehicle, you must wear PPE. The minimum requirements for the site are helmet, high-vis vest or shirt with day-night reflective strips, steel-capped boots and eye protection. Gloves may also be required or advisable depending on your task. Contractors are expected to provide their own PPE. In order to work alone on this Foraco site, you must have successfully completed this induction process. You will be provided a wood transport induction assessment form that you must complete competently before being granted access privileges. Of course, if you require assistance with reading or other skills in order to complete the assessment, please let your site contact know before undertaking the assessment. If you pass the competency assessment, you'll be provided with an access ID card for reference if ever required. Additionally, as transport drivers are involved in repetitions of the same basic tasks on our mill sites, we require that you are inducted to Foraco's standard operating procedures as follows. Log delivery drivers are to be inducted to 3 SOPs, while chip truck drivers are to be inducted to 1. Induction to an SOP involves you reading the procedure with an opportunity for you to ask questions for clarification if required. When you are confident that you understand the details within the SOP, you'll be required to sign a form acknowledging that you understand your accountabilities. You will be welcome to keep a printed copy of the initial SOP for your own reference. However, please be aware that printed copies may become outdated over time. Consequently, this site induction process and SOP inductions may need to be completely refreshed over longer time periods at the discretion of Foraco. A current and up-to-date copy of all SOPs should be available from the Weybridge staff for your reference if ever required. Logically, once you have acknowledged an SOP, you'll be expected to operate in strict compliance with all elements of that SOP. If you observe a hazard or are involved in an incident that has any safety, health or environmental implications while on a Foraco site, it is a mandatory requirement that you report the issue to your Foraco site representative. This includes near misses, damage to equipment or inappropriate behaviour. Next we will look at the pathways that log trucks and chip trucks must follow when on site. The layout of the site is shown in the map included with your induction package. The overall site is bounded by a looped perimeter road with several intersecting roads that pass through various operational sectors. The main site entrance is on the right-hand side of the screen, with vehicle access from either the Ridgeley Highway to the north or the Surrey Hills Plantation Estate to the south, shown by the red arrow. When approaching the mill site from the northern side, the Ridgeley Highway, log trucks are to use only the left-hand lane and form a queue from the boom gate. All delivery dockets must be completed at the forest coupe prior to the delivery journey and be available for presentation to the weighbridge operator on arrival. When approaching the weighbridge office from the southern side, drivers are to park their rigs as indicated by the red arrow and proceed on foot to present your delivery docket to the weighbridge operator. After the load has been inspected and all load documents and other details have been checked and determined to be correct, you'll be granted entry clearance to drive into the main mill site and proceed with the unloading process. The first step is to drive your rig slowly and carefully onto the weighbridge platform, which is located in the middle of the main access road. After the rig's gross mass has been registered by the weighbridge, move along the main access road towards the log meter as shown by the red arrow. It is important to note that only some loads need to be scanned by the log meter. If your load is required to be scanned, you would have been advised of this by the weighbridge operator as you entered the site. The log meter is accessed by a slip road on the southern side of the main access road. If you have not been advised to use the log meter, simply stay on the main access road and bypass it. The detailed protocols for operation of the log meter are provided in the written standard operating procedure that is provided to you as part of this induction. The written procedure provides information on how to interpret the traffic lights as you slowly drive the rig under the measurement frame. After successfully completing a load scan, log trucks can then merge with other traffic on the main mill road towards the southwest corner of the site as shown by the red arrow. It is important for log truck drivers to be careful when rounding this corner due to the close proximity of chip truck loading operations that also occurs in this immediate area. After rounding the corner, log trucks proceed to and stop at the log truck hold point, shown again by the red arrow. After reaching the hold point, log trucks must wait there and check via a radio call that the detwitching station is vacant before proceeding any further. The location of the detwitching station is shown by the arrow. After checking the station is vacant, trucks are permitted to move past the hold point to the detwitching station. The detwitching station is the only location on site where log load restraints are permitted to be removed solely by the driver. After detwitching, log trucks will then be called forward to the log yard by the Wagner L90 driver by UHF radio call. The path will be for the log trucks to pass the end of the log line, up the log yard ramp and then veer sharp right, and park just past the live log deck as shown by the arrow. The Wagner driver may, however, direct trucks to their left after the ramp from time to time as may be necessary for any operational reasons. At either point of unloading, drivers are to park their rig securely and thereafter operate in accordance with the site's truck unloading standard operating procedure. On completion of log unloading, the empty trucks can then move forward and along the relevant exit pathway. Trailer packing ramps are provided here on the eastern side of the perimeter road and here on the main access road. Trucks that do not require packing ramps are permitted to retrieve their trailers on the internal roads leading from the main log yard. However, no trailer retrieval is allowed on the main access road between the two arrows that are shown on the screen now. Final log truck exit protocols include weighing your rig out on the weighbridge, moving on to the weighbridge office area, stopping in the right-hand exit lane, and then reporting to the weighbridge office window. Next we will look at the chip truck pathway. Chip cartage trucks enter the site past the gatehouse area and travel to one of three optional chip loading bays, shown by the green arrow on the southwestern corner of the perimeter road. After loading, chip truck drivers must ensure their load is secure and enclosed to prevent any chip spillage on the way to the Burnie port. Infrastructure that is designed to assist chip truck drivers to redistribute any overheight loads and provide a safe access to the top of their truck bins from behind a barrier is in place at the second loading bay. After completing loading and securing the chip bin covers, chip trucks re-merge with log truck traffic at the log truck holding point and continue around the perimeter road as shown by the green arrow. Both chip and log truck drivers should exercise caution as the two streams re-merge at the log yard exit points. Chip trucks then exit the mill site without stopping at the weighbridge office and use the left lane only. Both log truck drivers and chip truck drivers should take special note of the low speed area that is shown around the weighbridge office on the map included with your induction package. A summary of emergency procedures can be found posted in work areas around the site. You'll also find an emergency management map in your induction package showing firefighting infrastructure and emergency assembly points. If you need to report an emergency situation, an all stations alert can be issued on UHF channel 30, which is also the main channel for log and chip truck communications on the site. If a fire breaks out, your first response should be to report the fire by raising an alarm. The fire alarm sounds like this. A secondary response, if it is safe to do so, is to combat the fire with the available infrastructure until the site's emergency response officers attend, and thereafter follow directions from the site's response team. If it is necessary to evacuate the site, an evacuation alarm will be triggered, which sounds like this. If you hear the evacuation alarm, move promptly and with caution to the nearest emergency assembly point and await further instructions there. There are standards of behaviour that are expected to be observed by all people on Foraco operational sites. Harassment, discrimination, victimisation or vilification will not be tolerated, nor will theft or unauthorised removal of materials from the site. A security search of vehicles on site may be carried out at any time. In accordance with Foraco's drug and alcohol policy, we require that no intoxicating liquor or other illicit drugs are consumed on the site, nor should you be under the influence of alcohol or other illicit drugs. Please also be aware that some medications can negatively affect your ability to work safely and protect the health of others. If you are unsure about whether a medication you are currently or were recently taking could be a safety issue, please raise this issue with the site supervisor or manager before commencing any task. Other general standards of behaviour include smoking is not permitted on site, smoking paraphernalia is to be left in vehicles if brought to the site, fire hoses are not to be used for washdowns, do not bring pets onto the site, wastes are to be disposed of only in identified waste bins and skips. The speed limit on the main access road is 40 km an hour or 20 km an hour as indicated by signage. Vehicles are not to be left running or unattended without authorisation. Seatbelts are to be worn while underway, and be considerate of all other drivers, particularly of large plant, which have restricted visibility. Foraco's industrial sites are managed to minimise environmental risks and impacts. Common environmental issues associated with wood transport to and from the Surrey Hills Mill site include the potential for oil spills and the subsequent disposal of any oil-contaminated materials, the control of weeds to prevent any further infestation on the mill site itself, or export of weeds from the site to plantation areas, or even potentially to Foraco's overseas customers via contaminated wood chips. Preventing wood chips from being unintentionally released from loads that are carried on public roads between the mill site and the Burneyport chip export terminal. What is chain of custody? For forest product industries, chain of custody traces the path taken by products from the forest to the consumer, including each stage of harvesting, haulage, processing, transformation, manufacturing and distribution, particularly where progress to the next stage of the supply chain involves a change of ownership. Chain of custody certification of Foraco's business systems is designed to provide a credible guarantee to our customers, whether that is a downstream customer business or the final end consumer, that products which are sold with Foraco's chain of custody certificates are in fact originating from well-managed certified forests. As a consequence, Foraco have strict requirements that allow the company to trace each and every load of logs or chips that are delivered to Foraco's processing sites. These traceability requirements will be clearly communicated to you and your ongoing compliance with these requirements is compulsory. Contamination. Contamination of the wood production process is a serious matter for Foraco and our customers. A contaminant is any material other than a wood chip which may become mixed in with or becomes attached to the pure wood chip products. Potential contaminants can be man-made or natural. They could be plastics, rubber, metal, oil and other lubricants or fuels, wood other than a wood chip, or chip pile base material, rocks or charcoal. All personnel must make every effort to prevent contamination of production equipment and the chip piles. Vehicles should be cleared of rubbish like plastic cups, sandwich papers, rags, etc. before entering the mill site. Contamination will not be tolerated. General amenities on site include toilets and restroom facilities located in the old gatehouse building outside the mill boundary near the Ridgeley Highway. First aid, report to the main office. All Foraco staff are trained in first aid if required. UHF radio, set to channel 30, is used for general communications. Channels 21 and 25 are also used as secondary channels in the log yard for unloading. Don't forget to switch back to channel 30 on exiting the log yard. As UHF is a public band, users are expected to avoid profane language while using the UHF. This completes the Foraco site induction presentation. Please complete and sign the induction assessment form and present it to your site representative. After the assessment form has been reviewed, you will be notified by Foraco whether you have been successful in being granted contractor access privileges to the site.